So you've probably all had Thai food, and I'm guessing you've probably had Vietnamese food. But I'm willing to bet you've never experienced all those flavors fused together in what is the incredible Hmong cuisine. The Hmong people are an indigenous group originally from China who have migrated across Southeast Asia for centuries, and their food tells the story of that journey. Hmong food is so much more than just a list of ingredients. It's a living history. It's a cuisine that has woven the culinary threads of Laos, Thailand, Vietnam, and China into a complete and unique tapestry, all while holding on to the traditions that make it uniquely Hmong, from ancient recipes to modern twists that will completely change how you think about Southeast Asian food. And we're lucky enough to have all of that right here in the Twin Cities of Minnesota, right here at the Hmongtown Market. Let's go check this place out. I'm Dāv Kaufman. I travel to distant, exotic places and places a little closer to home to indulge in the culture and cuisine from the familiar to the extreme. There's always an open seat at my table for you, and sure, I'll pick up the tab. This is Dāv Kaufman Eats the World. The Hmong people came from Southeast Asia, but weren't considered citizens of any particular country. During the American War in Vietnam, they were powerful allies to the Americans, and after the Communists won the war, they were targeted for extermination by the new regime. So they fled to Laos, where they soon fled the Civil War, then on to Cambodia, where they soon fled what was known as the Secret War, then they fled to Thailand, where the Americans finally evacuated them and gave them refuge in the United States. And today, the largest urban Hmong population in North America is right here in Minneapolis and St. Paul. As I walk through this market, I'm reminded that we don't often see the first generation of people that came to this country seeking refuge anymore. And all their traditions, color, and cuisine they bring to the multicultural tapestry that is the United States. The smell of the food court wafts through the halls of this market as the most incredible Hmong recipes that have been kept with families, passed down as delicious secrets, and made right here just as it was back in Southeast Asia. I couldn't wait to get to the food court to finally pull back the curtain to reveal the traditional techniques and ingredients that make these dishes so unforgettable. Each dish served here tells the story of how centuries of movement have created a unique fusion cuisine that blends Asian traditions with a modern American twist. And we're gonna start right here at this end of the food court, right here at Dungdok Kitchen. And we're gonna also get something at this place. Let's go over here and see what they got. So these stuffed chicken wings right here, these are some of the most interesting foods that you're gonna find at this market. We're gonna get one of those, but we're also gonna try out some pork egg rolls right over here, 4 for $5. One chicken wing for $4. We're gonna start right here with a stuffed wing and a pork egg roll. And over here at Annie's Restaurant, we're going to dive into their fried bananas, which are priced at only $5 for 6 of them. So right here, we're going to start with these 3 items. They're a little bit on the lighter side. This is the fried banana from Annie's Restaurant. Next up, right here, we have one of the most unique items that you're gonna find at this food court. This is a stuffed chicken wing. And essentially what they do is they take out that bone and then they stuff the wing with basically the same ingredients that they would stuff an egg roll or a spring roll. But they leave all that chicken meat inside, and then they sew it back up and cook it with all those vegetables and that chicken meat inside. Next up, we have our classic pork egg roll. We're just gonna give this a bath in that sweet and sour sauce. These are still piping hot. I'm just gonna go in and try it out. Wow. These are stuffed full of those vegetables, stuffed full of those cellophane noodles, and stuffed full of that pork. And what I really like about this is that that shell isn't thin, it's actually thick, and you get a lot of flavor off that shell. This is one incredible egg roll. So next up, we're moving on to the stuffed chicken wing. You know, when you pick up a chicken wing, it doesn't feel heavy. This is a really weighty chicken wing, and it kind of looks like if Popeye had wings instead of arms, this would be Popeye's wing. Either way, we're going in and trying it out. Oh my God, that is amazing. Taking a look inside, there's a lot of chicken meat, but they've also stuffed it basically with the same ingredients as an egg roll. So one of the things that I love about Hmong cuisine is that they didn't just take a chicken wing and say, hey, how can we make this more delicious with sauce on the outside? Somebody thought inside the box, or, well, chicken wing as it were, and said, how do we make it even more delicious inside? So they took all this chicken meat and all these cellophane noodles and all of these ingredients, mixed it up, stuffed it back into the wing, and then sewed it back up, and then put it on the grill, and just like that, you have one of the most amazingly interesting and delicious chicken wings you've ever tried. But it also comes with a side of what I understand is pretty spicy sauce, so we're gonna try this out with the sauce. Nope. Oh my god, that is super spicy. That just completely drained my sinuses. But oh man, is that good. All right, next up, we're moving on to the bananas. My mouth is still on fire. Hopefully this will extinguish it. These look absolutely amazing. Let's tear this open and look inside. That batter seems really thick and the banana has caramelized inside. I kind of expect this to taste a little like a banana pie. Well, let's try it out and find out. Oh my god. But there's something about the batter that they put around these bananas that is very different than other fried plantains or bananas that I've ever had. It's nice and sweet. It's very complimentary to the banana inside. This literally tastes like a little banana pie in your hand. These are absolutely amazing. Oh wow. So that's our appetizers from our first two places, but there's a lot more restaurants in here, and we are moving on to the salad portion of our meal. And the salad that they make here is completely different than anything you've ever seen. We're gonna go get one of their famous papaya salads. So we are going to get the Cum Laude style with shrimp and meatballs. Did I pronounce that right?
Number 2, right?
Number 2. I should have just said number 2.
First, it all begins with a big bowl usually made of clay called a cug. I probably mispronounced that, but it's a Hmong mortar and pestle, and the first of many ingredients are the dried chilies, and then a whole clove of garlic, followed by a scoop of peanuts, then a spoonful of MSG, and then a spoonful of sugar. And those are then smashed together, releasing the flavor and heat of the chilies into the other starter ingredients. Once that's done, fish sauce is added, followed by a heaping helping of tamarind. Next, she cuts up big chunks of tomatoes, and those also get pulverized into the beginning ingredients, and then she squeezes in some fresh lime juice, and then it's time for the good part. She adds a heaping mound of freshly shredded papaya to the mix. Next up, it's time for the protein, where she slices in a handful of meatballs, and then adds about a half a dozen whole cooked shrimp, and then it's back to mixing and pulverizing, and there's a reason for smashing all these ingredients together like this. The pestle is used to bruise and pound all the ingredients, which releases all the flavors from the garlic, chilies, and other aromatics. The process also bruises the papaya, allowing it to soak up all those tastes for a more deeply integrated flavor. Once finished, every last morsel gets scooped into a large to-go cup.
And that's how you make papaya salad. She really makes it look easy to make. I don't know if it's easy to make. I've never made it. But what I do know is that we're about to try this out. So next up, we have our second course. And this is maybe, like I said, one of the most unique salads that you're ever gonna find. You can see all of that shaved papayas, essentially papaya noodles, but big chunks of shrimp, big chunks of tomato, big chunks of meatball, lots of peanuts, lots of sauce. It's all in here. I'm gonna get all those delicious looking ingredients in one forkful, and we're gonna try this out. Holy. This is absolutely downright amazing. There are so many surprises in here and so many flavors that you would think would just completely make this into a flavor bomb of a mess, but it doesn't. Every single flavor in this salad complements the other flavors. You've got that savoriness of the meatballs, you've got that fresh crunchiness of the papaya, and then following all that up is that spice that she put in there. And you can get this in varying degrees of spices. I didn't want the spice to completely overpower all the other flavors, so I got mine kind of right in the middle, not too hot, not too mild. This is one of the most incredible salads. And to think, we didn't need to go all the way to Southeast Asia to get this. It's right here in St. Paul, Minnesota, and I don't think that a lot of Minnesotans actually appreciate that there is this kind of culinary masterpiece right in our backyards and so few people that live here in the Twin Cities have no clue that this even exists. So depending on how you like your spices in your papaya salad, it still does pack a little bit of a heat punch to it. So I got one of these. This is called a tricolor, and watching them make this is actually pretty incredible. I'm trying it out. That is something so unique. There are so many fruit flavors hitting you. The flavor of that coconut. This cuts right through all of that spice, cools down your mouth. So if you live in this area and you want something different than a slice of pizza or a burger for lunch, come here, get the papaya salad, and get one of these drinks. This will take you right to Southeast Asia again without leaving Minnesota. This is amazing. All right, now that we've had our appetizer and one of the most incredible salads, now it's time to dig into our main course. And we're gonna get a bunch of stuff here, starting right here back at Annie's restaurant, where we are going to get the Hmong sausage and sticky rice. And then right over here at Golden Cuisine, we are getting the sweet pork soup. But is it soup? No soup. No soup for you. It's just sweet pork in a broth. It's not soup. And then finally here at Normal Kitchen, we're getting one of these big old Brontosaurus ribs. I mean, they're beef ribs, but man, they look like Brontosaurus ribs. Those things are huge. We're just getting one. So you take it off the bone for us, slice it up, and put it right in a to-go thing. That is a lot of meat on those.
It is.
And with a hot sauce. Fantastic. But we're not stopping there. I'm also getting the pork belly saute, which is pork stomach and tongue. And I'm also gonna try out the pig ear. This is chopped up pig ear with a lot of chilies and a lot of other good stuff in there. These are two dishes that you are definitely not gonna find at your neighborhood restaurant. So now that we have all of our proteins to try, we're gonna go over there. We're gonna try them out one by one. All right, so here we have a sampling of different Hmong foods from most of the kitchens that are here in this food court. So first up is the sweet pork from Golden Cuisine. These are big chunks. There's lots of fat, lots of meat. It's everything that you want a good pork belly to be, but again, it's not soup. All right, we're just gonna try this out. That is almost melt in your mouth. Oh my God, that is so good. First of all, this is so incredibly flavorful. That skin and that fat layer is so soft, it literally melts in your mouth. That meat is so tender, it just falls apart just like a pot roast. And it's been soaking in that broth that adds such an amazing and unique flavor to this. I'm telling you, if you like bacon and like soup, this is like bacon soup. I mean, it tastes exactly like bacon soup, but it's not soup. So next up, we're moving on to the pig ear. These are strips of pig ear. You can see the cartilage, see that fat, see that little bit of meat in there. And we've got red pepper throughout this dish just to give it a little zing. All right, let's try out the pig ear. That cartilage is really crunchy right off the bat. You don't really eat pig ear for the meat because there's not a lot of meat on a pig ear. You eat it for the texture. And that cartilage adds such an interesting and crunchy texture to this dish. But it's in a very savory sauce. This one, so far, not really my favorite. I don't really like the texture of that cartilage, but the flavor is really on point. It's just the texture of that cartilage. Well, it isn't for everybody, and it's really not for me either. So this one was good, but not great. So next up is our pork belly saute from right over there at Nama. And all the good stuff is on the bottom of this, so you really gotta stir it up. But we've got slices of pork belly, we've got slices of intestine, we've got pieces of pork stomach, and we also have big pieces of pork tongue. I'm just gonna get a fork full of that pork tongue, some of that pork stomach, and of course some of that really good looking pork belly. All right, let's try it out. So what really makes this dish interesting is all the different flavors and textures. The texture of the tongue is really kind of a hard and chewy texture. And of course that pork belly just brings all the flavor to it. So when it comes to cuisine of Southeast Asia, especially Hmong cuisine, it's not as much about the flavor as it is about the texture. And this dish, with all those textures and flavors all in one forkful, these are the flavors and the textures that bring traditional Hmong food all all together in one delicious forkful. All right, so moving right along, we're gonna try out this beef rib. This looks absolutely delicious. That meat to fat ratio is absolutely perfect for a beef rib. I'm wasting no more time. I'm digging in and trying this out. Wow. All right, so first, that is packed with so much flavor. I don't know how they are making these ribs in the back, but these are unlike any other beef ribs I've ever had. There's such a distinct Southeast Asian flavor to these that I just can't quite put my finger on. When you order ribs at any other kind of restaurant, I call it conveyor belt cooking because every single product is designed to be exactly the same and taste exactly the same. In a place like this, with beef ribs like this, these are flavors that you simply will not get from conveyor belt cooking. This tastes exactly like it was made right at home. It's tender, it's juicy, it's fatty. This is an absolute hit. All right, so on to our final dish that we're going to try here. This is what I was really looking forward to. This is Hmong sausage with sticky rice. Sticky rice can either come in white or purple. There's a subtle flavor difference between the white and the purple sticky rice. I prefer the purple. They didn't have any. We got the white. Just as good, but it's the sausage that I'm really looking forward to trying. So here we go. Right away. That is just absolutely amazing. This sausage represents exactly why I love places like this in the world and why we're, again, so lucky to have this right here in the Twin Cities. These flavors are the culmination of different areas of Southeast Asia, all influencing the same food, but here with an American flair. That exterior has that perfect snap that a good sausage should have, and the flavor is unlike anything you're ever going to find outside of Southeast Asia. Well, I guess except for here in St. Paul. So if you live in the Twin Cities or you're coming to visit here in the Twin Cities, you have got to put the Hmongtown market on your radar. This food is unlike any other food that you're gonna find anywhere else in the city. So guys, if you're hungry for more, check out that video right there. If you're starving for more, check out that playlist right there. Please do not forget to hit like and subscribe. I have more food than I can get out to the car in one trip. I'm probably just gonna have to move in here until I finish all this off. I wonder if this community will welcome me among them. I'm sorry.